everyone. Myself Aesha Joshi, lecturer in Electrical Engineering Department, VPMP Polytechnic. My subject is Environment Conservation and Hazard Management, and the unit name is Ecology and Environment. Today my topic is environment. The whole chapter is divided in two parts. The first part is environment and the second part is ecology. So first we will discuss about the environment. Today our objective of this video is to understand about what is environment, the scope of environment, environmental issues. We will discuss natural system and various process of natural system. So first of all, what is environment? The environment word is derived from French word environ, and its meaning is surroundings. So everything surrounding us is called environment. So if we define the term environment, then we can say that all factors like physical, geographical, chemical, biological, and ecological, which affect human life and its existence on this earth, is called environment. એન્વાયરમેન્ટને ગુજરાતીમાં આપણે પર્યાવરણ કહીએ છીએ. આપણી આસપાસ જે કંઈ પણ કેમેસ્ટ્રી, બાયોલોજી, મેડિકલ સાયન્સ, લાઈફ સાયન્સ, ખેતીવાડી, વિજ્ઞાન, તે દરેકને જે આપણી આસપાસ એક્ઝિસ્ટ કરે છે તેને આપણે પર્યાવરણ કહીએ છીએ. માનવ જીવન અને તેના અસ્તિત્વને અસર કરતા તમામ પરિબળો જેવા કે ભૌગોલિક, ભૌતિક, રાસાયણિક, બાયોલોજીકલ અને ઇકોલોજીકલ તે વગેરેને આપણે પર્યાવરણ કહીએ છીએ. Okay, so environment is surrounding us. Why this environment is important to us, or why this environmental study is important to us? So there are so many reasons by which we can say the environment is very important to human life. First of all, I would like to say human and biological life on this earth is dependent on this environment. If environment is pollution free, the different components of environment like vegetables, forest, air, water, rivers, lakes, oceans, animals, etc. shall remain protected, and complete biological life existing on these components shall be in most favorable balance for their existence. So the environment is very important to a human life, or we can say to a biological life. And a branch of science which related to these aspects of environment is called environmental science. In fact, this environmental science is a multidisciplinary science which combines physics, chemistry, biology, medical and health science, life sciences, agricultural science, forestry, public health engineering, and so many. So the word environment and environmental science is very important to all biological life, which means surrounding or enveloping. So this environment has mainly two components. One is biotic environment and second is abiotic environment. all components of environment is divided in two categories. One is biotic environment and second is abiotic environment. Biotic environment includes all living organisms and biological life like animals, birds, forest, insects, bacteria, and all microorganisms. Whereas abiotic environment includes all non-living components such as land, mountain, rivers, air, water, temperature, humidity, sand, dust, clouds, etc. Right? So now let us discuss scope of environment. Scope of environment is expanded up to its all components of environment. Mainly there are four components of environment. One is atmosphere, that you can see the diagram on your screen. One is atmosphere. The second is hydrosphere. Third is lithosphere. And fourth is biosphere. We will discuss one by one in detail. Let us start with the atmosphere. When Earth was formed before 4 to 5 billion years, probably we can say that Earth was formed before 4 to 5 billion years, and probably there was no atmosphere at that time. Due to volcanic eruptions, various gases and water vapor were released, and with passage of time, atmosphere came into existence gradually. So we can say atmosphere of the earth is a mixture of various gases. Also we include sunlight temperature, humidity and wind in the atmosphere. The constituents of atmosphere are nitrogen, which is approximately 78%, oxygen, which is about 21%, and different gases like argon, carbon dioxide, neon, helium, methane, krypton, etc. are in 1%. This atmosphere is subdivided in four regions. You can see in this diagram, thermosphere. The first one is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. There are four regions of atmosphere. Let us talk about the troposphere. This troposphere is a part of atmosphere which contains 90% part of atmosphere, and it is at the height of almost 10 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Human beings and other biological life can exist in this part of atmosphere, and when we go higher and higher, temperature decreases around 6.5 degree per every kilometer. Troposphere contains oxygen, nitrogen gases mainly, and very small fraction of helium, methane, moisture and dust particles are found in this troposphere. Movement of gases in this region is higher, and so the pollution is also we can found in this troposphere region. Now the second region is stratosphere. The stratosphere is a layer above troposphere. There is no presence of vapor, cloud and sand particles in this layer. Its height is almost 11 to 50 kilometer. It starts from 11 kilometer and ends to 50 kilometer, and its temperature is minus 56 to minus 2 degrees centigrade. Ozone is much more present in this layer. As we all know, ozone absorbs ultraviolet rays coming from the sun and protect living organism from its adverse effect. So stratosphere is very important. The earth temperature is maintained due to presence of ozone in this stratosphere. So this is all about stratosphere. The next region is mesosphere. Mesosphere is the layer above the stratosphere. You can see in this diagram. It is very cold layer. Its height is around 56 to 85 kilometer. It starts from 56 kilometer and then it ends with the 85 kilometer. Its temperature is minus 2 to minus 92 degrees centigrade, and almost all gases are active in this layer, mesosphere. And the last region is thermosphere. Its height is 85 to 100 kilometer and its temperature is minus 92 degrees centigrade to 1200 degrees centigrade. So you can observe that it has very high temperature due to energy absorption from the sun. This layer has very high temperature, as I have said. So it also has dense band of charged particles. So this is all about thermosphere. So there are four regions in the atmosphere we have talked about. And now let us discuss the second component of environment, and that is hydrosphere. Hydrosphere is the part of environment in which there is a water, mainly there is a water. So we can define the hydrosphere, all water bodies and water particles above the earth's surface is called hydrosphere. So hydrosphere comprises all types of water resources like oceans, seas, lakes, rivers, streams, reservoirs, polar ice caps, glaciers, and groundwater also. In a hydrosphere, the ocean, as we all know, about two-thirds part of the earth is covered by water, hence the major part of earth is water only. And the portion of hydrosphere which contains safety water in oceans and seas is about 97% of total water, and it is, we all know that it is useless for human consumption. River water and lake water have contributed much to the development of civilization, and that is only 2% of water resource. Only 1% of water resource that is usable to human being, and 2% of water resources is locked on in the polar ice caps and glaciers. So only 1% water is available to human beings. So this is all about hydrosphere. The next is lithosphere. Lithosphere forms the upper and solid rocky part of the earth's surface. Lithosphere is a part of Earth's surface on which human beings, animals, forests, farm, and other biological life can live and survive. Hence, it is useful part of the Earth. Food for all biological life is produced in this lithosphere. So basically, there are two types of matter available on lithosphere. One is carbonic matter and second is non-carbonic matter. Almost 97% part of matter on lithosphere is non-carbonic. Bacteria and microorganisms survive on carbonic matter, and the non-carbonic part of lithosphere is not very useful for human consumption, but they help providing land on which human beings can build their residences and homes. So this is all about lithosphere. The fourth component of the environment is biosphere. So biosphere is a total of plant life, animal life, and all other factors that make up the earth. Biosphere is that component of the planet Earth on which all biological life can exist and survive. So biosphere is defined as a global sum of all ecosystem. It is also known as zone of life on the earth. So all biosphere is a closed system in which innumerable form of biological life are generated, survived, and exist. Of course, this biological life is supported by solar radiation too, which is external to the earth. But the biosphere support varieties of this ecosystem for their existence. So this is all about biosphere. Now, let us discuss some environmental issues. As we all know, engineering and technological development, especially we can say after industrial revolution, has seriously affected status of environment and has generated many global level issues. You can see the list of environmental issues on your screen, which are industrialization, urbanization, environmental pollution, greenhouse effect, depletion of natural resources, deforestation, desertification, acid rain, depletion of ozone layer, global warming, climate change, etc. These are some of the issues which we are going to discuss in detail. So let's start with the industrialization. Industrial revolution, if we talk about the industrialization, so first of all, we need to know what is industrialization. So, industrial revolution is the main reason of industrialization. If we talk about the industrial revolution, it is believed to have started from 17th century in England. The steam engine was first invented by James Watt, and then textile mills were started by mechanical power available from these steam engines. After a few decades, petrol engines and diesel engines were invented. And as we know that Henry Ford, who is an American engineer, and some friends have established first automobile manufacturing factory in USA. Almost at the same time, Thomas Alva Edison invented electricity and established first power plant which was capable to generate electricity on a large scale. He has also established for first time the system of transmission and distribution of electricity to various consumers. And this is how the technological development came into picture. And this technological developments resulted into what is known as process of industrialization. So this is called a process of industrialization. During and after, if we talk more about the industrialization, then during and after World War II, hundreds of factories came into existence in various parts of the earth. These factories include all type of like steel mills, metal refinery, extracting factories, rolling mills, paper mills, textile mills, etc. It also includes some automobile industry, plastic industry, pharmaceutical, chemical, petroleum refineries, and so many industries. And this process of establishing factory scale production system is called the process of industrialization. The process of industrialization proceeded at rapid rate, but its impact on environment was very negative. Industrialization resulted into adverse effect on environment, like environmental pollution is created, land pollution, water pollution is created by industrialization. It created urbanization issue. Forest cover and land available for agricultural purpose has been decreased due to process of industrialization. And we can also consider the concentration of greenhouse gases has been also increased due to industrialization. So these are some various adverse effects of industrialization. So it is a very serious environmental issue that we need to consider. Now, let us talk about urbanization. Urbanization, if we talk about urbanization and if we want to define urbanization, then we can say that migration of people in search of job and business opportunities towards big metro cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, etc. is known as urbanization. Industries and trades in big cities require large human resources. Hence, people from different villages are migrating to the cities in search of jobs and economic prosperity. So, the population of cities are increasing rapidly while that of villages are decreasing. That is the main issue created due to urbanization. Urbanization has also resulted into other demographic problems such as housing, transport, population explosion, etc. So it is also a serious issue. We need to consider it very seriously. The next environmental issue is environmental pollution. This is the most serious issue generated due to process of industrialization. Industries like metallurgical, chemical, textile, dyeing, bleaching, power plants, insecticides and pesticide manufacturing industry generate most dangerous pollution of all kinds in the atmosphere. Of course, we have Pollution Control Board of Government of India, and they have their strict rules and regulation, like setting up influent treatment plants which treats the influents or waste products coming out of industries before they are released to atmosphere. Even then, pollution level in the atmosphere is increasing day by day. The another reason for environment pollution is increasing number of automobiles. Exhaust gases coming out from car, trucks, two-wheelers, and any other automobiles pollute the atmosphere. And such polluted air is very harmful for a human health. So if we want to define the environment pollution, then we can say that environmental pollution is a contamination of environment around earth by the materials which badly affect human health, quality of life, and natural functioning of ecosystem. And the material which pollute the atmosphere is called pollutant. There are two type of pollutant. One is biodegradable pollutants and second is non-biodegradable pollutants. There are various types of environmental pollution like air pollution, noise pollution, water pollution, solid waste pollution, municipal and sewage pollution, and land pollution. So this is all about environmental pollution. The next environmental issue is greenhouse effect. As we all know, solar radiation are continuously coming to the earth, and in this solar radiation some rays are reflected, some are refracted, and some get absorbed in the atmosphere. Due to this reflection, refraction, and absorption process of solar radiation, heat remains in atmosphere and cannot escape from atmosphere due to presence of some greenhouse gases. The temperature of atmosphere is increasing due to the absorption of heat by these greenhouse gases, and this is called the greenhouse effect. Carbon dioxide is a major greenhouse gas which does not allow radiations to escape from the atmosphere, and the atmosphere contains about 0.03% carbon dioxide. The concentration is continuously increasing, and the concentration of other greenhouse gases is also increasing day by day due to various reasons. And due to this increased concentration, the temperature of earth is increasing day by day, and which is known as greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect also has some adverse impacts on atmosphere like global warming, rise in temperature, the ice caps in the low region will melt. It can be a cause of flood in low-lying areas, rise in a sea level, sudden change in rain pattern, seasons, and other meteorological parameters. The greenhouse effect has also impact on agricultural plants and animals. And ultimately, the human health may affect by may get affected by greenhouse effect. The next environmental issue is depletion of natural resources. Due to rapid industrialization, the demands for natural resources such as coal, petroleum, natural gases, iron ore, and other naturally available minerals from the mines have been increased. As we all know, that the natural resources are very limited and are going to be exhausted in near future. Hence, rapid depletion of natural resources like fossil fuels, minerals will result into future non-availability of them. Fossil fuel, minerals, various types of forests, glaciers, these all are very important natural resources on which human life is dependent. So, this is very serious issue of environment. As we know, mining of various types of raw material has considerably increased. Forest cover on Earth is greatly depleting due to the rapid deforestation activities. Demand for wood for building construction and furniture making is increasing day by day. So, we need to balance the consumption of natural resources. So, this is also a serious issue and need to be taken as a prime consideration. Now, let us talk about the deforestation. As I say, demand for the land has been tremendously increased due to population explosion. Land requirements for human habitats has resulted in a large scale destruction forest and agricultural land. And this process of destruction forest and agricultural land is known as deforestation. The extent of deforestation can be seen from satellite pictures also. It has been observed that thousands of hectares of forest land has been vanished and replaced by human habitation and factories. There are some measures to minimize this deforestation, like strict laws must be enforced by forest department for destruction of trees so that the people refrain from cutting trees. Plant more trees campaign must be launched and incentives should be given to people for planting and taking care of trees. And people should be made aware about environment damage by destruction of trees. This is the thing we can do to minimize the issue of deforestation. Now let us talk about the desertification. It is defined as a process of converting dry and non-productive land into deserts. It is also known as land degradation. According to government organization working on a desert land, that India has its one-third land constituents dry and arid, which is increasing every year. And there are various reasons for desertifications, which are continuous erosion of soil by wind and moving streams, continuous extraction of fertility by crop and farming, and contact in salty water, etc. There are also some measures to prevent desertification, like rainwater must be conserved by check dams and water harvesting and allowed to permeate into land. Rainwater must be collected in the coastal area by check dams and it will prevent the seawater ingress. Dryland forestry should be employed and acacia and cactus varieties of trees must be planted This tree requires very less water, so we need to plant this kind of trees, and we can cover the land, dry and non-productive land, into agricultural land also. So these are some measures to prevent desertification. The next environmental issue is acid rain. The pH of natural rainwater is 5.84 at the temperature of 25 degrees centigrade. The neutral water has pH of 7, and thus the natural rainwater is acidic. If the rainwater has pH less than 5.6, then it is called acid rain. And the adverse effect of acid rain will be experienced only if the pH is about 4.5 and less than 4.5. The phenomenon of acid rain has also been observed in various areas like Kanpur and Bombay. The term this acid rain was first used by Robert Angus in 1872, and it means presence of acid in rainwater. Sulfuric acid and nitric acid are the major acids found in rainwater, along with a small quantity of hydrochloric acid, and which is very harmful to human being. So it is also a serious issue, and the main reason for this acid rain is presence of greenhouse gases in atmosphere, industrialization, more use of automobiles, air pollution, etc. The next environmental issue is depletion of ozone layer. The scientists were extremely worried in 1985 when a hole in ozone layer was discovered over Antarctica. The size of this hole was as larger as the areas of US continent. And the UV radiation of solar radiations are absorbed by this ozone layer, as we all know. The layer is depleted, or if holes get developed in this ozone layer, the UV radiation will reach to the earth, and this UV exposure can lead to number of diseases like skin cancer, cataracts, and suppression of immune system response in human being. So it is a very serious issue, that depletion of ozone layer, and it need to be considered. There are various effects of ozone layer depletion, like it increases the global temperature also, it increases ice melting, it expands seawater volume, it causes greatest damage to DNA of human beings. Skin cancer is attributed to UV exposure, and it also affects human eyes and suppress immune system, as I have said earlier. The next environmental issue is global warming. Before industrial revolution, human activities were limited to agricultural and forestry. Now, emissions of gases to the atmosphere by human activities are increasing day by day, as different kind of industries came into existence after industrialization. All industries release uncontrolled amount of greenhouse gases and various pollutants to the atmosphere. Insecticides and pesticides used in crops have very toxic effect on global environment. And due to this all reasons, the average temperature maintained on the Earth's surface is increasing day by day. And this is called global warming. So there are some measures to reduce effect of global warming also. That it has been scientifically proved beyond doubts that industrial activities of mankind have resulted into adverse effect of global warming. So it should be restricted. Every factory will have to reduce atmosphere pollution by installation of effluent treatment plants for controlling the emission of CO2 and SO2 in automobile exhaust gases. Emission standards will have to be raised. So these are some measures which we can take to reduce effect of global warming. CNG must be used instead of petrol and diesel in automobiles. More and more number of trees should be planted to increase level of oxygen in the atmosphere. This all we can have for reducing effect of global warming. And the last environmental issue is climate change. If there is a significant and important change in statistical distribution of various parameters that shows the condition of climate like temperature, rainfall, moisture, wind velocity, is called climate change. Mainly, there are two conditions responsible for climate change, in which are geographical factors and man-made factors. Geographical factors are called natural factors or external mechanisms which bring the climate change. They are called geographical factors like changes in direction of hot and cold currents of water in ocean bring climate change, orbit variation, solar output, then volcanic activities, plate tectonics. These are some geographical factors which can cause climate change. So this is all about environmental issues. Now let us talk about the natural system. The ecosystem is a natural system of environment and it has two main components. One is biotic and second is abiotic. So the whole ecosystem comprises of abiotic, then second is producer, consumer and decomposer. Hence this biotic component is subdivided into producer, consumers and decomposers. So mainly there are two component. One is biotic and second is abiotic. The all non-living substances are called abiotic, include temperature, pressure, soil, water, etc. The physical and chemical components of an ecosystem constitute its abiotic structure, which includes soil, geographical, climate factors, energy, toxic substance, etc. There are consumers, mainly like animals that feed on other organisms. They are further subdivided into micro consumers and macro consumers. The producers are two autotrophs, mainly green plants, algae, etc., and they are further subdivided into microvegetation and macrovegetation. And the decomposers are heterotrophs, which include mainly bacteria and fungi, which derive their nutrition by decomposing and breaking down the complex organic molecules to simple organic compounds and ultimately into inorganic nutrients. There are various processes, important biochemical and biophysical processes in a natural system. The first one is photosynthesis process. This photosynthesis process, if we talk about, then we can say some plants absorb carbon from the atmosphere as CO2, carbon dioxide, through photosynthesis process. In this process, oxygen is released by the plants. Photosynthesis is a chemical process used by plants and certain bacteria to harness energy from sunlight and convert into chemical energy. There are two types of photosynthesis. One is oxygenic photosynthesis and second is anoxygenic photosynthesis. During oxygenic photosynthesis, there is a chemical reaction between carbon dioxide and water, that is CO2 and H2O, which produces carbohydrate, and CO2, that is carbon dioxide, is reduced in presence of sunlight to oxygen. Hence, oxygen is produced, and this is the reason we plant more and more number of trees to purify our environment, as it replaces carbon dioxide by oxygen. The second process is hydrological process. Every living unit contains about 70% of water in their structure. Water is extremely necessary for the existence of biotic components in an ecosystem. Nobody can survive without water, as we all know. So there is 75% of seawater spreaded on Earth's surface. And due to heat, the water vapor enters into atmosphere in the form of cloud. Due to heat of the sun over the ocean, the process of evaporation takes place. And due to this evaporation process, water vapor enters into atmosphere in form of cloud. And this water vapor contains some water part and come in the form of rain on the earth when favorable condition of temperature and humidity are created at a particular place. So this is also known as hydrological cycle, which shows the water circulation, which is very essential for survival of living beings. So this is one of the process of natural system. The next process is carbonic process. Carbon is a very important element in the constitution of every biotic component. In fact, all living organisms contain mostly carbon. So when they die, the carbon containing proteins and carbohydrates mix and dissolve in environment with the help of photosynthesis process. The carbon in vegetables, crops and trees is converted into carbohydrates, proteins and sugar, which forms the constitution of all living organisms. The next process is nitrogen process. The next to carbon, nitrogen is one of the most important elements in the constitution of living organisms. 78% nitrogen is there in the atmosphere, but the living organism cannot directly utilize this nitrogen in the atmosphere. The bacteria and other microorganisms in the soil absorb nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert them into the form which is easily absorbed by the roots of trees and vegetation. So this process carried out by the bacteria and microorganism is called biochemical nitrogen absorbing process. So it is very important process for human beings and all living organisms. So there are many other biochemical processes by which living organism absorb various constituents like sulfur, phosphorus, and sodium in very small amount. So these are important processes of natural system. So this is all about the environmental issues, and a natural system and natural processes. In our next video, we will discuss about second part of this unit, and that is ecology. Thank you.